Hello, namaskar. Good evening, everybody. Please confirm in chat if you can hear me and see me too. Welcome to another very interesting scientific webinar on exploring sterile manufacturing methods for science graduates. And just to remind you, this particular live stream is being brought to you by Biocon Academy. I'm your host, Shekhar Suman, and today we are going to have a very interesting conversation with someone with amazing experience in sterile manufacturing, of course. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we all are consumers. Do we agree? Let me know in the chat box. Do we agree? Yes, of course. We all are consumers, right? We all consume. Like right now, we are consuming this content which we are being presented through Biotechnica's YouTube channel. And of course, we are live on LinkedIn, Rasayanika's YouTube channel also, and Facebook and X, right? So what are we doing? We are consuming, right? But when it is a virtual consumption just like this, hey, nothing to worry. Nothing to worry. But when it comes to real consumption, where a drug molecule or a food molecule, food or drugs has to go inside us, go within us, that is where the real game begins. And pharmaceutical companies pass through numerous challenges day in, day out, and that's the reason they insist so much on sterile manufacturing. So good evening, ladies and gentlemen from India and from out of India, whatever time it is, good day. We are live right now with a senior scientist from Syngene. He has got a PhD in pharmacy with 17 plus years of experience to the fascinating world of drug development. And he has successfully developed, filed, and received marketing authorization for multiple innovative, branded, and complex generic oral pharmaceutical drug products. He has got expertise in formulation development, process development, and technology transfer also for oral dosage forms. Now, he brings 14 and a half years of rich industrial research experience and has worked as an individual contributor as well as a leader for research and development center for various Indian multinationals. And right now he's working at Syngene. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we are talking about Dr. Shailesh Biradar. But before I bring him up on the stage, we have our co-host, and that is Biocon Academy. So just to give you a glimpse about Biocon Academy, it is a corporate social responsibility where Biocon's academic arm, which is headed by Dean Professor Dr. S.S. Ishwaran, he handles amazing corporate social responsibility for Biocon, wherein they do a skill gap filling. So basically, if you see, the colleges have whatever graduates and postgraduates are being produced, they are not probably at par with the industry because the industry moves very fast. It is not the fault of the colleges also, but the industry is dynamic. It moves very, very fast. So no matter which city you are from, no matter which country you are from, this live stream is going to be an eye-opener and highly insightful for all of you. So ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, let's join our hands to welcome Dr. Professor S.S. Ishwaran. Namaskar, sir. Welcome to the session. How are you?
Good evening and namaskar.
Good evening. And thank you so much for joining us for this amazing session. Now, I was talking to our audience about the sterile manufacturing, and I'm so thankful that you have brought in an expert from the industry, Syngene itself. So would you like to throw some light on today's topic, and then we can get started quickly?
As Shekhar was rightly pointing out, till the time anything is outside our body, it is still safe. Right. But as you consume, it is very important that we have to be very careful.
Right.
When we are consuming itself, if we have to be careful, how about when it is something is injected to our body? So
Right.
this is very important, which means only in very critical stages something is injected into our body. So the injectable manufacturing, the manufacturing of the sterile products is of utmost important. And today's guest, he is having an expertise in injectable manufacturing. So we are going to talk to him and find out the nuances associated in the manufacturing of the injectables. And also we are going to try to understand what are the different sterilization methods that are available. The idea of the conversation is to give a broad idea about what is the significance of methods used in sterilization of medicinal products, so that as a graduate, when you are studying biology, I'm talking about biotechnology, microbiology, biochemistry, chemistry, all these streams, when you study and when you want to get into the industry, this session is going to give some idea for you what you can expect from the industry, what industry is going to expect from you. These two perspectives. That is the idea of this entire session. Okay.
Wonderful, wonderful. So, as we now know what exactly we are expecting from our session, let's join hands and bring up on board Dr. Shailesh Biradar. Welcome to the session, sir. How are you? You have to unmute your mic. I guess it is muted.
Yeah, thanks for that. So first of all, I'd like to thank Shekhar for organizing this very interesting webinar on sterile manufacturing, and also I'd like to thank Dr. Ishwaran for facilitating this discussion. So as Shekhar has mentioned, my name is Shailesh. I'm a pharmacist by training, and I carry more than 17 years of industrial research experience. And I worked in both oral solid and injectable. And that transition has given me a good insight that how industry is moving. So when we compare with the earlier trend in the therapy and the current trend, we found that there is a migration from small molecule to large molecule.
Right.
And when we see the top 10 leading drug product in all regulated market, US, Europe, the number of large molecule biologics they are occupying the majority of the space. And the key essential delivery system for this large molecule is injectable, because they cannot be absorbed orally because of their large molecule weight, their susceptibility to the acidic environment in our stomach. And because of that, there is the only one way where we can have the delivery system for this large molecule is injectable. And with that dynamic situation, I feel that sterile manufacturing is going to be a hot cake in the industry. And we can see the large number of manufacturing unit coming up. The companies are investing a lot of money in the sterile manufacturing facility. There is a huge number of CDMO who are supporting the business, and we can see a transition or the shift from oral solid, typical conventional small molecule oral solid, to large molecular biologics injectable drug product.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely. You are so right, Vicky, and we really cannot
yeah,
agree more than that.
Right.
Yeah.
yeah,
Right. So now that the tone has been set for our topic, I would pass on the baton to Professor Ishwaran for the Q&A where we can get started with the topic. Sir, over to you.
Okay, thank you, Shekhar. And actually, I wanted to start with a very basic question, Dr. Sailesh. In industry, you know very well, you have experience in both OSD, oral solid dosages, as well as in injectables. So, what are the general contamination control strategies that are adapted from a CGMP or a good manufacturing practice perspective to make sure the drug is safe?
yeah. Yeah. Thank you for that question. That is a very insightful question. And as we have started the discussion, like when we given a thought that if we are going to consume something, then the quality of that product become very crucial. Now, Dr. Ishwan has further added his thoughts that now if we're consuming through injectable route, then they become more and more uh, sensitive. And I would like to quote example where, like, if you see the snake poison, snake will bite us and it will directly inject the poison in our systematic delivery. So because of that, we can see that the person get a fatal attack within the hours. But the same poison, if you consume orally, the effect will be very less. And that indicate that oral is a filter. Oral delivery is a filter where we have multiple filters. Our body has capability to eliminate the toxins. Body has will bypass the unwanted product and will only extract the nutrient which are essential for our body mechanism. So that bring a thought that the sterile product has to be very, very sensitive to the quality concern. And when we say quality, it majorly we speak about two factor. One is the microbial contamination. The sterile product has to be absolutely free from the microbial contamination. And the second part is the particulate matter. They should be free from any kind of particle contamination. And if we have to achieve these two product which are free from these two contamination, one is the microbial contamination and second is the particle, we have to manufacture the product in a containment. When we say containment, it is a grading area. We called it as a CNC, which stand for classified and controlled. So we have a grading system, and each grade has been defined with the fixed air moment and the count of the particle. And when we say count of the particle, that the air movement and those count of particle, they are continuously monitored in forms of the non-aerobic monitoring, and the microbial contamination is continuously monitored in form of aerobic monitoring. So both aerobic and non-aerobic contamination is monitored throughout the facility, and it has to be done throughout the year. And therefore that brings a high level of confidence that the product will be sterile in nature, which will be free from microbial contamination, particulate contamination. If we go in depth, the grading start from grade D, grade C, grade B, grade A, and each grade stands for the allowed limit for the particle count and the particle size in that particular area. So generally particle per meter cube are counted. There are the methods to count those particles, and based on that the grading happens. And now in each grading, in graded area, we have defined process, like defined process. So the most crucial process is the filling, where we fill the medicament in vials, ampoules, pre-filled syringes. There that filling has to be done in the ultra clean area, which we call as a grade area, and that is the most crucial. In grade area, there is a containment, physical containment, and a uh, there is a restriction on man movement. Only qualified people can stay in that area and work in that area. There is a aseptic process which allows the operator to work with a particular style of working, and this
Wonderful.
particular style of working is designed to reduce the bioburden,
Correct.
microbial burden. And with this all restrictions and with this all controls, we have to manufacture the drug product.
Wonderful. Thank you very much for that such a elaborate and very easily put description about the CGMP guidelines. We have not only understood the CGMP, but also we understood how critical it is to be followed and how critical it is to be monitored continuously throughout the year to make sure the product is contamination free.
Yes.
When we talk about contamination, I would like to get into another area where I would like to really understand from you, doctor, what is actually a sterile product and how is it different from a non-sterile product?
Right. So in terms of the quality, the sterile product will have the different testing parameters and the limits. So if I compare oral versus sterile, the major difference is in oral product, I have to control the microbial load. So some microbial load is allowed, specific microorganism at a specific level. But in sterile, it has to be absolutely free from the microbial load. There should not be a single viable count, single uh, microorganism contamination. So this is the major difference. And then we have multiple tests, like we have to match the osmotic pressure. So there will be a test of osmolality. We have to control the endotoxin, which are the byproduct of the microorganism. So even we have a product where there is no viable microorganism, but they are dead microorganism and they have their byproduct which are there in the our medicament and which are going to enter in the patient body, then they can produce a allergic reaction or a subsequent immune reaction. Our body will produce immune reaction against that endotoxin. So there has to be a control of endotoxin in the product. Then there are tests for pH. There are multiple tests which uh, drives the product to be suitable for administration into our systemic circulation.
Okay, okay, understood. Which means I understand that the sterile product means it has to be completely devoid of any form of microorganism, whether it's a dead
100%.
organism or dormant organism or live organism. So, which
Yes.
means we are talking about some method to remove these microorganisms from these products. So, if I call these methods as sterilization methods, can you please tell us what are the different sterilization methods that are used in the industry, doctor?
Yeah, you have now built the correct thread, connected all the dots. So one is, my expectation is that products should be sterile, should be free from microorganism. But how to achieve that? And over the years or over the decades, scientist has worked and developed multiple method of sterilization. And these multiple method of sterilizations are used for the sterilizations of multiple products. So now if we deep dive, we may see all injections, they are looking same. But when you deep dive, some injections are emulsion, some injections are suspension, some injections are liposome, and they differ in terms of their characteristics. And therefore, one single method of sterilization may not suit all the product. And secondly, when we say method of sterilization, it is not only applicable to the drug product, it is applicable to the raw materials, packaging materials, equipment, all has to be sterile. Okay. And therefore, there are the multiple methods, which, like, some methods suitable for packaging material like glass, some methods are suitable for the powder form of the material, and some methods are suitable for the direct drug product. Now, based on this evolved science, agency has given a decision tree that how to decide which method will suit the drug product or the equipment or the raw material or packaging material. And this has to be done at a R&D scale when we develop the product, and we have to confirm and validate that the selected method is the most suitable. So there is a decision tree and there is a lot of science involved into that. So looking at the current time, I will not go into much depth, but broadly there are methods based on gas, which we call as a gaseous sterilization, which include ethylene oxide, ozone, chlorine oxide, dioxide, hydrogen peroxide. There are methods based on the effect of heat, and there are like moist heat sterilization method, dry heat sterilization method. There are methods based on the use of electronic beam or the light source. So there will be a method based on radiation, which again will be divided as gamma radiation. And there are methods based on the use of electronic source, so which called as a electron beam radiation, X-ray uh, radiation based sterilization. And based on that decision tree, we have to start from one method and should evaluate for the suitability of that method to our drug product and the remaining equipments or raw materials or packaging material. And then we have to end with a one most suitable method of sterilization.
Wonderful, wonderful. As I completely understand that there are multiple methods of sterilization, which includes, as you rightly said, gaseous sterilization, filter sterilization, or autoclaving, or moist heat sterilization, and so on. Can you give me a little bit clarity on what basis one should select a sterilization method for one particular product? For example, let us say vaccine. I want to sterilize a vaccine. So, on what basis I should select the sterilization method, or can I select randomly?
No, no, no. So we have a decision tree, like both European guideline and US guidelines, they have a decision tree that how to select the appropriate method. And the reason for that guideline is that the approach should be systematic, and scientific.
Okay.
So based on that approach, we have to develop. And as you mentioned, few product will, like, suppose if I have to sterilize a suspension by aseptic filtration. Now, when we say aseptic filtration, the aseptic filter should have the capability to reduce the to have the log reduction of 10, means they should be able to reduce the microbial growth of by a log reduction of 10. Suppose thousands are, then it should come down to 100. If 100 is, then it should come down to 10. But now if my product is suspension where particles are suspended, my pore size of the filter is zero point 0.2 and my particle size is suppose 0.6.
Okay.
then it is obvious phenomena that particle will get retained on my filter.
Correct.
So whatever filtrate I get, I may get a sterile filtrate, but I may lose the drug product, which
Right.
is in suspension form, and it will lead to a suboptimal or low standard or low quality drug product.
Okay.
And therefore, it may be sterile but not acceptable. In
Okay.
the same way, suppose I am trying to develop a sterilization method for a drug product which has a stability at refrigerator condition 2 to 8,
Hmm. Hmm.
and I'm trying to develop a sterilization method by using autoclave where the temperature will be 121 degrees Celsius for 15 minutes or 25 minutes. So again, the product of nature clearly indicate that it is thermoleable, and if I'm developing a method where I am applying a 121 degrees super heat condition for maybe 15 minutes, but that is sufficient to degrade the product, then that may
Hmm.
not be a
Right.
most appropriate method for that product. So it depends on the drug product characteristics, the end objective, and the suitable source, which should be scalable also, reproducible and robust.
Excellent, excellent. That really clarifies my doubt, doctor.
Right.
You spoke about autoclave, 121 degrees centigrade. From the college, we have been using autoclave. Any science student, particularly if it is microbiology or biochemistry or biotechnology, most of the time they would have used an autoclave. Sometimes you would have used a pressure cooker as an autoclave in the laboratory. So I would like to really know a little more about what do you actually mean by an autoclave conditions, and how is it actually very useful for some type of products, for sterilization of some type of products?
Right. So, like it is the ancient science that steam has power to sterilize anything. So, if you see, when we treat a patient suffering from fever, we use hot water for bathing or cleaning his body. We use steam when we suffer from cold, and that steam gives us relief. So, steam has high energy and temperature is very high. That has power to kill the microorganisms by blocking their DNA, and they make them deprive life. So it is very effective tool to kill. Now for autoclave, any product to be sterilized by autoclave, we generally go for a terminal sterilization approach by using a steam sterilization. So now again, uh, the stage at which we use the sterilization uh, can define the method of sterilization. So suppose if I'm using a filtration, it is a process driven. It is in process. It is not the end of the process. So that is called as a in process sterilization. When I use something at end of the process, do packing everything and then I sterilize, that is called as a terminal sterilization. And after terminal sterilization, the product will be subjected to the distribution channel. So
Okay.
therefore, it is the end of the process. Now, steam sterilization is the most used sterilization method when it comes to terminal sterilization. And the reason is that it is cost competitive when I compare with the other like ethylene oxide or the gamma radiation. Second, the process is now robust. There are multiple equipment suppliers. There are n number of products which are produced by using the terminal sterilization, steam-based terminal sterilization, and the industry has gained expertise to use this method.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Yeah, now there are again different types of terminal sterilization. Some are vacuum driven, some are steam displacement based, vacuum displacement based, and there are some fine tuning, some advancement in the technique.
Wonderful. So that is
Yeah,
the last part of the sterilization. So the product does not go through any other sterilization method before it reaches the patient. So it
right.
is very critical. And thank you very much for sharing this knowledge. Because when it comes to autoclave, as you rightly mentioned in the decision tree, we completely understand that any product which is heat labile, which is not having any heat labile compound, which is not heat sensitive. Those products can be sterilized using the heat as a sterilizing agent, or particularly autoclave or a terminal sterilization. How about the aseptic processing, that is sterile filtration? For what type of product aseptic filtration is specifically used?
Right. So generally what happens that we go with a double safety measures. When we say double safety measure, although we are using a steam-based terminal sterilization, we do the aseptic filtration whenever it is possible. Now there are again aseptic filtration and aseptic manufacturing. These are two different terms. Suppose I put an example of suspension where the product is not suitable for filtration, but that can be produced as a sterile product by using aseptic manufacturing. So what is aseptic manufacturing? Where I keep everything in sterile, pre-sterile mode. Like I use the sterile API, I
Right.
use the sterile equipments. For other than API, which is going to remain in suspension, I use the aseptic filtration as a method of choice. I mix them in a sterile environment and then in product will be sterile. So this is called as aseptic manufacturing. So whenever this is not possible, I go for a aseptic filtration where everything is not sterile but made sterile through the process of filtration. So before
Right.
mixing or before start of the operation, they are in a non-sterile format or they are not sterile atoms or the materials. But we use the filtration so that the filter has a pore size to retain the lowest size of the microbe.
Right.
And generally we do the two-step filtration. One is the pre-filtration and second is the redundant filtration or aseptic filtration. Objective to keep these two filter is to reduce the microbial growth in sequential manner so that the yield will be a maximum assurity that filter will uh, produce the sterile product reproducibly for multiple times. So what happens in the pre-filter, we reduce the bioburden. When we say reduce the bioburden, it is not absolutely free from microbial growth, but we reduce the level of contamination at one level of filtration, and then we subject it to online filtration. So when we prepare a medicament, it is filtered through a suitable filter as a pre-filtration step, which is happening offline. When we say offline, it is a batch process. I start with 100 liter, filter the 100 liter and collect it in another vessel. Now there is a second filtration which is called aseptic filtration or sterile filtration, which is online. And what does it online means? That I'm filtering continuously and the filtered product without storing. Immediately after filtration, I'm filling into the subsequent packs, which is vial pre-filled syringe. So I am making sure that immediately after sterile filtration, I am packing them into integrated pack, which has capability to maintain the sterility of the product.
Wonderful, wonderful. We really cannot thank you enough for bringing this clarity around the methods of sterile manufacturing, because it is so complex to really put it in such a simple words. So, thank you very much, Dr. Sailesh, for bringing this entire clarity in a very simple words. Thank you, Doctor.
My
I
pleasure,
think
my
this
pleasure,
gives
Vikas.
a very sorry, Doctor, you are saying something.
Yeah, my pleasure. The questions
Okay.
were very descriptive, means the questions were very open for which I have to give the descriptive answer. So I thank to you for asking those questions.
Thank you, Doctor. Thank you. I think this brings very clear information that any graduate who would like to start your career in the industry in injectable manufacturing side, it is a good idea to know about sterile manufacturing. So this sterile manufacturing is a large procedure. It is not a simple technique. So as Dr. Sailesh was mentioning, it is not just a method, it is not just a procedure. It is a year-long phenomenon. So we have to monitor the area. We have to make sure all the equipments are working as per the expectation. We have to make sure there is contamination control throughout the year. And finally, you have to process the product in such a way the product is not having any microorganism by the end of the process, irrespective of whatever method you are choosing, whether you are choosing a terminal sterilization or aseptic processing, based on the nature of the product, whether the product contains heat labile compound or heat stable compound. Based on that, you select the defined method. So the program that is, as Dr. Sailesh is coming from Syngene, I really take pride in really saying this. This is the first time we are collaborating with Syngene International to offer this very important and critical training program in the area of sterile manufacturing. This program, this training program is called Syngene Ramaiah Certificate Program in Sterile Manufacturing. There are two things we are doing for the first time. One, we are collaborating with Syngene. The second, this is the first time we are offering a course for the B Pharmacy and BSc candidates. So this is really a very important juncture, because those candidates who are looking for a job immediately after graduation, please remember this is one of the very, very important and very useful opportunity for you. So please look into the details. Sheikh will be showing the details of the program, and I would really encourage all of you to really look into this carefully, and then utilize this opportunity to get trained and get a good start in your career. Best of luck.
Thank you so much, sir. That was clearly very insightful, Ishwaran sir and Dr. Sailesh. So let me introduce all my audience to this amazing program, which is being conducted by Biocon Academy. And for the first time, Syngene is coming up. And let me share my screen, as you can see here. Syngene Ramaiah Certificate Program in Sterile Manufacturing. Now, this particular program is a 16-week intense course, as you can see here, and it is open to pharmacy, microbiology, biochemistry, biotechnology, as well as chemistry graduates. That means the fans and followers of Biotechnica as well as Rasainika, all of you are eligible. And most of the Rasainikans always keep complaining that we don't come up with something for you. So this is exclusively for chemistry also. So go ahead and join this program. Now, just to give you an idea, this is a 16-week Syngene Ramaiah certificate program in sterile manufacturing, which aims to provide specific job skills with emphasis on regulatory requirements, manufacturing processes, sterilization, and quality management systems background to help the participants to find meaningful employment in the sterilization function and start delivering results with very less training. Now, we will also be talking about the career opportunities here. As you can see, there is a significant demand for skilled personnel for appropriate education, background, and training in sterilization practices. Now, to be very frank, there is no such degree or diploma which exists today to fill this gap which exists in between the industry and academia. Now, academia can prepare the foundation, but the industry moves at a speed which is the speed of light. So obviously it's dynamic in nature, and you can see sterile manufacturing has always been here, but there is sadly no course. And for the first time, Biocon Academy is coming up with this amazing program by partnering with two different organizations, Syngene and Ramaiah, and it is a sterile manufacturing 16-week intense course, which is aimed to make you all ready. So the details of this, what I'll do is I will ping in the chat box over here. It is already sent, as you can see, by my team. So please go ahead and join this program, and all the details are given over here. Introduction to pharma industry, quality management systems, general disciplines, everything will be discussed, and you will get complete exposure. And the eligibility is B.Pharm or BSc, Microbiology, Biotechnology, Biochemistry, and Chemistry, with a minimum CGPA of 6 and above or 60%. Now, these are the eligibility criteria. Now, just to let you know, industry placements is included in this, transport, meals, and accommodation, everything. So you have a complete 360-degree program over here, which takes care of entire end-to-end industry. It will make you industry ready, and at the same time, it's talking about placements, it's talking about reducing the gap between industry and academia. And you just heard from Dr. Sailesh that sterile manufacturing is a very important function of any biopharmaceutical company. So if you want to make a career in this particular program is a must to have. So, sir, would you like to add something more to this, Ishwaran sir or Shailesh sir, please?
Okay. So as far as this program is concerned, it is going to follow the same model as any other program conducted at Biocon Academy. So this is the second program we are collaborating with MS Ramaiah College of Science, and we are already offering a very successful program in collaboration with MS Ramaiah, that is in quality control analytical side. And the model is going to be the same, where in the morning there will be teaching session lectures from the faculty from MS Ramaiah, and in the
Right.
afternoon the students will get an opportunity to visit the Syngene facility directly, and they will get an opportunity to shadow the employees and see what is happening in the sterile manufacturing areas. As
Wow.
you can understand that you cannot touch and do anything because you are not yet ready for that, you are not trained for that, you are not qualified for that, but you can see what is happening. To bridge the gap, or to bridge the gap on the hands-on training, 1 week hands-on training is already planned for this program in the both technologies of sterile manufacturing, that is autoclaving and sterile filtration. So 1 week hands-on training is also a part of this program, and these are the three technical deliverables, that is the lecture, the visit, and the hands-on training. And most
Right.
importantly, every Friday afternoon is earmarked for the professional skills training. So it is
Wow.
very important that you have a good communication skill to really kickstart your career in the corporate environment. So that is also a part of this program. So the model of Biocon Academy is same for this program also. So all the students who are getting benefited through Biocon Academy is the same way is going to be treated for the sterile manufacturing program also. Dr. Sailesh, would
Right.
you like to add something?
Yeah. I think his mic is muted.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry. So what I feel the beauty of this program, or the plus point of this program, is that the student will get hands-on training at the industry. So there are multiple institutes which are offering the academic courses where the course is taught through a uh, book-based system or theoretical knowledge-based system. But however, in this course, what I can see that there is immediate learning at the end application. So whatever you are learning in the college, you are going to check how it works in the industry, or whatever happening in the industry, you can come back and you can see whether my course has due diligence on that. And second thing, that getting entry into sterile is not that easy. It is very containment process where there are so many restrictions on number of people who are entering the facility, and therefore this course is designed which will allow you to see the sterile facility with the closest possible view, which may not happen very easily. And students should take advantage of this situation, and this is going to be asset for you for your the professional end of the professional career, because whatever you are seeing now, that going to give you the fruits, or that will be rewarding you in the near future.
Right, right. So that was quite insightful. Thank you, Dr. Shailendra. And now to the students. Some questions are coming in. As I can see, there's a question like, is the program online or offline? So you would have got your answer by now. It is offline. It's not online at all. There's a question about no MSc students. So just a question to you, sir. Are the MSc students not eligible?
No, this is specifically targeted for the BSc graduate. We have
Okay.
bioscience program for the MSc candidates.
Okay, we do have a MSc program separate. This is for bachelor students. So I think that answers your question. So next is, how can we get into this program? So the link we had shared, you can click there and you can go ahead and join. So you please scroll up. You should have got the link. Otherwise, I'll request the staff to go ahead and click on that. Now, students who are attending this live or watching this recording out of India, if you want to come down to India, this 16 weeks program, if you're a bachelor student, yes, I'm sure the team will consider that. Am I right, sir?
Yeah.
Yeah. So out of India students, like, because I can see a lot of out of India subscribers also attending. If you want to come down here and attend this 16 weeks program, you're most welcome. Just get in touch with me. And just to let you know, my email ID is shekhar@biotechnica.org, where you can shoot all the questions related to this particular program. And is there any official email ID they can send to, sir? If we have that,
No
I can
problem. They can reach out to you. You can forward that request to us. We can certainly work on it. because
Right.
we already had some of the Malaysian employees getting trained in Biocon Academy. Only one thing we have to remember is employment is dependent on your nationality in India.
Yes.
So if you just want to get trained, that is a different thing. But
Right.
if you are looking at employment, then there are certain conditions.
Right. So with this, we come to an end of our live stream. I hope you enjoyed it. And do not forget to check out this program. And if you are interested, please enroll fast because this program has limited seats. Am I right, sir? How many seats we have in this?
Only 20 seats cross India.
20 and only 20. And I think almost more than 50% would be filled by now because this program was advertised long back. So now we are in process of closing the admissions for this program. So if you are planning to do it, please do it fast. And the sessions will start from when, sir, for this particular program?
It is starting on 19th Jan.
19th of January. So it will start from 19th January. So go ahead, first enroll, then book your tickets to Bangalore and join the Syngene team in learning sterile manufacturing at Biocon Academy. Thank you so much, sir. And thank you, Dr. Shailesh, for joining us. And everybody, remember, this is a golden opportunity for all of you, right? Thank you so much. See you soon in the next one. Till then, keep shining. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you all, and wish you all the best. Thank you. Bye.